The Nigerian military took several hits in 2023, but none strong enough to dampen its undying spirit and resolve to continue to defend the nation's territorial integrity. Among the myriad of events that rocked Nigeria's security landscape in the year, 2023 saw the death of several servicemen in many theaters of war across the country. An accidental bombing at the Tudumbiri village in Kaduna State that killed over 85 civilians had Nigerians worried about human rights issues and military intelligence during the operations. In January of 2023, 24 civilians suspected to be herders returning from Benue State were killed in Nasarawa during a military airstrike. The police said 27 bodies were recovered, while the Air Force claimed only terrorists were killed in the raid. In Plateau State on the 25th and 29th of December in 2023, armed groups killed at least 195 people in Plateau State in a series of attacks on over 30 communities. 1,290 houses were burned down in Bukos Council and multiple others razed down in Mangu and Barkin Ladi local government areas. Kidnappings were rampant in 2023, particularly among children in school and National Youth Corps members. A total of 17 kidnappings were reported in 2023, with 191 victims. Heads of Nigeria's security agencies want Nigerians to be assured of a safer country in 2024.
Herders don't need to be carrying animals across country, because for anything, you even diminish their capabilities. You need to keep them one place, feed them properly, get a good slaughterhouse. It's business. So the government should try and encourage them. If you want to get land, acquire land, pay for it. It's business we are doing. This year, God willing, will ensure that no community is held by any bandits. Members of the communities will leave their IDP camps and be able to go there. And what we appeal is that the military can only do so much. Once they go back and then they can't get the support from the government, it makes it a bit difficult for anyone to be able to support them. And so that's why it's important that we must work together as a team.
I must tell you unequivocally that the military is up to the task on the plateau. What happened was a political conflict wrongly managed that snowballed on Christmas Day, and we are working to address it.
A statement from the Office of the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, says the prospect of a safe and secure Nigeria is in sight if the military continues to collectively keep its eyes on the ball in getting the job done. It reads, quote, pilots, engineers and other technicians have been availed of several safety management lessons and techniques to minimize risks associated with ongoing air operations, end quote. As for the Nigerian Navy, the Chief of Naval Staff is promising a more professional Navy in 2024. In a statement from his office, he states, quote, while there are significant achievements, there are still cases of personnel colluding with criminals to undermine our efforts. Let me therefore warn that any form of collusion with criminals or acts of sabotage will be met with stiff sanctions in accordance with the law, end quote. Security experts are also lending their voices to what the military should be doing differently to ensure a safer Nigeria in 2024.
It has a model that is quite exemplary, and I think other states should also follow from. Lagos State has set up the Security Trust Fund. That fund is effective. It's being run like a private run body, quite transparent. What we have in states like Plateau, and to add to that, before this governor, in fact, I'm happy that he's a lawyer. So what I'm going to say would be instrumental. I think it's every politician, and not just in the executive arm of government, at both the federal and state level, has a level of responsibility, and he or she should not shy away from that responsibility. The governor has the right to protect the citizens of his state. Now, how he does that, if he says he doesn't know how to do it, then I'm sorry, why is he occupying that state?
All the security challenges are predicated on the political, the economic, and the social terrain in the country. To what extent are we dealing with those variables to ensure that some of these issues have not, gotten out of hand. So we need to enhance the well-being of the average Nigerian, and of course, it strengthens institutions so that they can live up to expectation.
While the military readjusts its operations and improves synergy for better service delivery, conscious effort has to be made to ensure Nigerians see the safety of the country in 2024 as a national assignment for all. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
Earlier, we spoke with the Professor of Criminology and Sociology of Law, Professor Etanibi Alemika, on security. He started by giving an overview of how the nation fared in the year 2023 in terms of security management.
I think we had gone on the former route, which failed to understand that the insecurity is a symptom and not the cause. The cause are lying in the political, economic, and social dysfunction within the country. And so we're dealing with symptoms rather than looking at the root causes. So both governments have adopted similar process, similar understanding and logic. And to that effect, it's glaring that the success expected is not being realized. So basically, we're on a failed path because we're not addressing the fundamental economic, political, and social causes of the insecurity. We're not dealing with economic, social, and political sources. So maybe just briefly to say, what are the economic, social, and political causes of the insecurity? At the economic level, we have witnessed decline since SARP in the industrialization and agriculture. These are foundation of economy, not finance, not many other areas where we are focusing. So many industries have collapsed in SARP, thereby leading to unemployment, increasing poverty, and of course, dependency on import. And of course, we now have scarcity of goods, and we also have unemployment. These are economic foundation for the insecurity. The political aspect is the massive corruption in the country, which we've not been able to successfully address. And then we have impunity. On the social level, we have distrust among ethnic groups because there is scarcity, and the little one that is available, people are fighting over it, and then, of course, creating distrust deficit. So I think what this government needs to do is to look at the economy, and the economy not at the level of financial sector or what the economy call not the real sector that we often focus on, central bank and all. Those are just paper tiger money. They don't produce, they are not consequence of production. So we need to focus on agriculture, we need to focus on industrialization and reduce dependency on importation. That is where we must go, and then we'll be able to generate employment, we'll be able to generate self-reliance.
All right, Prof. So some have said the military cannot be everywhere to protect every community. How much difference do you think technology can make in this regard?
Well, we just went through COVID-19. And one of the measures that we did was to have vaccination. Because no amount of effort at the level of symptom, you will not be able to solve the problem because the generating causes are still there. So I think in terms of, I think what the military, the police can do is it could create some level of deterrence, but they will not solve the problem. And in the present situation, one of the challenges we have is that we don't even have enough personnel, we don't have the technology, neither do we have the infrastructure that can carry the technology themselves. For example, stable electricity, a communication system. You see how much sometimes you want to connect, you can't connect. So these are very complex problems. And all of these are reactive. What I'm urging is that we embark on a proactive measures. Because by the time you are bringing the military or bringing police, the incident had already occurred. But we can use economic, political, and social measure in a proactive way that will not even have to have the problem that will require the involvement of the police and law enforcement, other law enforcement.
All right, so some have advocated the option of state policing. What would that really address the challenges in your view?
It will not. In fact, it will compound it. And I'll just give you, I'm not going to go far, I'll give you an example. Our state educational system better than the federal? Are their health system better than the federal? Is the CS better than INEC? So I think there is this fixation that the police will make a difference, but it's not going to make a difference because the problem is structural. what structure we find at the federal today is in existence at the state and local government level.